I've been asked recently by many staff who are concerned about what they are hearing out of Topeka and elsewhere regarding the possibility of a school shutdown in July. Last week, our business office sent all certified staff information about how they request a lump sum payment in June, and that has spurred additional questions. As a superintendent of one of the plaintiff school districts in both of the recent school funding Supreme Court cases, I have a pretty good handle on what is taking place in Topeka. And I want to share with you what I know and how you can prepare for a school shutdown if that possibility is of a concern to you. First, what is a school shutdown and why are people talking about it? The Kansas Supreme Court has given legislators until June the 30th to fix the block grant funding formula, which was found to be unconstitutionally inequitable. Now, the legislature has several ways they may respond. They can fund the old equalization formula for the local option budget and capital outlay, which would cost about $54 million. They can come up with a new formula that provides substantially similar revenue with similar tax effort, or they can ignore the courts and see what happens. The Kansas Supreme Court will rule to determine if school funding is constitutionally equitable following any fix by the legislature or lack of action. If the courts say that what they've done is not constitutional, the courts can declare the funding law unenforceable, meaning all flow of money in or out of school districts stops. Thus, the schools would close. Now, let me clearly say that I do not have a crystal ball. I don't know what will happen. I cannot promise that a shutdown of Kansas public schools will not happen, but I don't believe that that is the desire of our court, of the plaintiff school districts, or the majority of the Kansas legislators. And it is my best hope that all sides in this will arrive at a solution that is acceptable to the courts, that the legislature and Kansas public schools will not close before the scheduled end of this year's legislative session in May. But if schools were ordered to be closed, what does school closure really mean? No one works. Buildings would be locked. District credit cards would be shut down. No purchases could be made. No checks could be written. Now, no checks being written would include payroll checks, and that is the place that I do want employees to be aware of so that they can plan ahead of time if they are concerned that school closure could happen. If the Supreme Court closes Kansas schools and directs that no public funds can be expended for public schools after the close of the fiscal year on June the 30th, then no one would be in the business office to disperse payroll checks to employees. And that would be the worst case scenario. Now, some people think this is highly unlikely to happen, but it could happen. And again, I want you to be aware so you can plan if you feel the need. Most teachers and other certified staff are eligible for a lump sum payment. Deadline for making this decision is April the 1st. Payroll sent out information last week on the form and the process to request your lump sum payment. If you are an employee who has the right to request a lump sum payment in June, I want you to be aware so you can make the decision before the deadline. The Kansas Statute 74-4940 provides that once a teacher or certified employee has completed his or her contract, typically in May, they've already earned their total contract amount, and they may request by April the 1st the remainder of the 12 annual payments in a lump sum. Now, this does not apply to year-round certified employees such as myself and other year-round administrators. Those people are not eligible for the lump sum option. Lump sum means the funds for June, July, and August of certified employee paychecks have been encumbered out of the 2015-16 budget in early June. Now, those funds will not be impacted by any decision to close Kansas public schools as of July 1. What would be impacted is teachers' ability to receive those funds after July the 1st if the Supreme Court ordered the state treasurer not to spend any public funds for education after June the 30th. The money for paychecks would still be there, but no employees could be paid to mail the paychecks, electronically transfer the funds for teachers to direct deposit, send payroll taxes to the state or federal government, pay health insurance premiums, etc. Thus, paychecks would be delayed until schools were allowed to reopen. Now, how is lump sum paid? Again, I cannot predict what the actions of our legislators or Supreme Court justices will be over the next few months. However, under Kansas statutes, teachers have the ability to request payment by April 1st for the remainder of their contract, and that would be paid in a lump sum in June. The lump sum payment must be requested on the appropriate form by April the 1st. If a teacher or other eligible certified employee is concerned about the possibility of the school closure happening and them not being paid in July and August, then he or she should make arrangements to receive a lump sum payment in June. The way that is paid, the employee would receive his or her normal June the 15th paycheck. Then, prior to June the 30th, the employee would receive separate checks representing what he or she would normally have received in July and August. 11-month employees would receive one paycheck for July. Taxes and benefits are pulled out of each check separately, so those checks would be the same take-home amount as if the employee received them on July the 15th and August the 15th. There is no lump sum option for classified staff, for they are paid as their salary is earned. Now, if you are a classified employee, you may be wondering, what about me? If you do not work year-round, a school shutdown would likely have no impact on you at all. If you have worked hours during June, then a shutdown could impact the district's ability to pay you those wages on July the 15th. However, should school closure appear imminent in June, we could pay classified employees for wages already earned prior to a shutdown. That would require board approval. I am in regular contact with our Schools for Fair Funding attorneys as well as several of our area legislators. No one wants a shutdown of public schools to happen, and hopefully our legislator will arrive at a solution that is acceptable to the court before the end of this legislative session in May. I would encourage employees to contact their legislators with any concerns and continue to be informed and vocal advocates for Kansas kids and Kansas public schools. I would like to remind everyone that your next opportunity to see your legislators in person will be Saturday, March the 19th, from 9:30 to 11 a.m. at the Mennonite Friendship Manor. If you have questions about any of this, please email me by Wednesday. I will prepare a frequently asked questions document that I will email out to everyone on Friday before spring break, allowing you to have information over the break so you can make a decision before the April 1st deadline to request a lump sum payment if you are eligible and interested in doing that. Again, I cannot predict what will happen, but I care deeply about each and every one of you, and I do want you to have the same level of information that I do so you can plan accordingly. Thank you for listening, and have a great spring break.